got to thinking, there's been a lot of conversation this week about race hating, people being racist and all this. But look, I have a memory like an elephant. And I can tell you when the scales fell off my eyes. Now, if you listen to people fringe what they believe, they will tell you that I suffer from white guilt. That's not true. They will tell you I suffer from unconscionable racism, that is built into my conscience. And I can't deny that. It probably was. But I remember when the scales fell off my eyes. Isaac Andre Haig was born in upstate New York. And when he was 5 days old, my wife and her family adopted him. And his mother was from New York, and his father was from the islands, from Trinidad. And now Andy's about 6'4", and a black man, not a brown man. He's black now. And he grew up around me. And you have to understand, I had the kind of love in my heart that we played sports with black folks. And we talked to them, make small talk. Had several that meant so much to me. But I had never seen it close up. I had never heard more than words said. But I had never seen racism close up. And a lot of y'all are sitting back right now saying, yep, we know it. But that ain't what this is about. 20 years ago, through a course of events, Andy wound up in a trunk of a car. And when he came out fighting. And the law took him to jail. He told me what happened on the phone because he called me. And just honestly, I put on my blue jeans. I put my Glock in the back of my pants. And I went to the police station. Now, this was before Jesus. Y'all don't have to believe I was an outlaw or a gangster. You ain't got to believe that. But I put my Glock in my pants. And I went to get him. And I walked in the police station. And I walked in and I said, turn him loose. Now. Well, he did. I said, turn him loose. Or we all gonna make the news. In just a minute. I had rage because as far as I was concerned, they had one of my young'uns locked up for no other reason than the simple fact that he did not look like everybody else in that group, and I wasn't gonna abide it. And somebody was about to lose their life over it, and it may have very well been me. I have repented of that hate that I felt for those cops that night. And I'll never pretend to be black like I can put myself in a black man's shoes. But that's the night I changed. I saw it from a 50,000-foot view. So therefore, when people call me racist, I get offended. Not because I cling to a past of George Wallace and the stars and bars. It offends me because it's so out of my character, it makes me want to go nuts on somebody. Because I got a piece of information for some of y'all right now. And I'm not in a bad mood. I'm actually a happy guy. If your pastor or your preacher is up front, I'll go with the blacks first. Your black preacher's up there, and he's stirring up hate, stirring it, and he has you convinced that Jesus is black, you best run from that church. You better, because Jesus ain't black. If you walk in your white church and your preacher says, well, you just, We act like we're not racist, but you know, we say the N word real low. That pisses me off worse. Jesus is white. No, he ain't, Homer. He ain't. He ain't white. Jesus is going to look like the guy who owns all the Chevron stations. And that ain't racist, it's just the truth. So ain't nobody got no moral high ground on the Prince of Peace. When I say the scales fell off my eyes, they have fell off. That's how I can have love in my heart for everybody. If you got good character, I don't care if you're purple. And people say that, but you can look at this guy right here, and I mean it. Seriously. You can't say you don't. You can't say you don't see color. Everybody sees color. If you don't, you're colorblind. But when I look at a man, I don't see a black man. I see a man if he's black. And nobody holds the patent on idiots. We've all got them. And what's happened is we ain't all coiled our nuts. I'll say it again. Everybody's welcome at that table right there. Anybody. If you can act right, I don't care what you are or what you look like. Seriously. And I've worked hard to be the man I am now. And I won't hear no different. So, if I don't look like you and you follow me on TikTok, understand this. You have a friend here. If you're using common sense. That don't mean if you agree with me politically. That don't mean if you agree with me Jesusly. You got a friend here. If you can imagine that, we are the same.